Sorry for putting you on the spot. Mitchie, 15 years.
15 jaar.
That's stuck. 15 years of Red Wing Shoes Amsterdam. And how many are still to come?
A lot.
Do you still remember when we opened the doors to this beautiful place?
Definitely. Yeah, that was 2010. 2010. Yeah. That was, feels like a life ago, but also feels like a day ago.
Yeah. And do you have a clear memory of the first people coming into the shop, or the nice little stories from 2010?
I really remember that in the first year, I had a young guy coming in, and he was 15 or 16, and he was browsing through the collection and so interested. Well, the stereotype of Red Wing was older people with who were very much into shoes, and it was so special to see a young guy coming in, and he was interested in one particular boot, and it was the engineer boot, which is the most heavy boot we have in the whole collection. And he tried them on, and he was absolutely in love, and he came back, I think, a month later with a bag full of coins, and he bought them. And he was so happy that the month after he came back and he wanted another pair, and he brought his dad, and his dad bought a pair, and that felt like something special. The brand was had a lot of specialness in Beto.
What really intrigues me is that for some reason we didn't really succeed just yet, because ever since we started working with Red Wing, it feels like the brand has been hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
And even now, after 15 years in the business, I still have so many friends that never came across Red Wing, and become so super enthusiastic when they learn about the brand and learn about the product, and more importantly, start wearing it.
Yeah.
But you, as the ultimate Dutch expert on Red Wing shoes, what would you tell people in terms of USPs if they don't know about the brand yet?
Well, for me, the most special stuff about the brand is that all the shoes are still made in the USA. And while they're still made in the USA, Red Wing is one of the only companies in the world which still have a shoe factory and a leather tannery. And I think there's about a handful of these brands left in the world, which says a lot about the brand, because that means that everything happens in-house, and therefore everything they do, they are in control. And that is something which I think makes it really special. And
But sorry to interrupt you, a tannery, for the people who don't know what gets done there. Can you describe the process in a nutshell?
In the leather tannery, the leather gets tanned, so it comes in wet blue, they call it. So it's like it's a plain leather, and then in the leather tannery they're gonna process the leather, and then they give it a color, they oil it, or they smooth finish it. Normally a brand buys leather from a different brand or from a leather tannery, but Red Wing does that all themselves, and therefore they are in control of the full product from start to finish. Another USP for me is the resoling business. Is that you can resole the shoe, and therefore you have the shoe for such a long time. Over the past 15 years, I think day one we opened, we already started resoling for people who already owned Red Wings in the Netherlands, and they came to the shop and we resold their boots, and till this day we do that as a weekly business.
So Red Wing boots are indestructible.
Indestructible.
Except for the sole in some cases.
Correct. But at least you can repair. So that's I think that's a product which people are after anyways these days, to have a product which lasts long instead of throwing it away and saying goodbye to a product. While this product you build a relationship with, and then after so many years, it's a part of you.
I still remember that one of the first meetings that we had in Red Wing, Minnesota, I made a little Dutch joke to one of the directors and I said, listen guys, I think you really should think about making less amazing quality, because at the end of the day, nobody returns to the store anymore. And then at that point in time, they weren't really, well, they didn't really know if I was serious or not. So luckily for them, I wasn't, of course. So except for the amazing quality and the reselling part, is there any other specific feature that you don't want people to miss out on?
For me, it's the comfort of the boot is something which is unbeatable. I don't know any other brand which I can wear a boot from 8 in the morning till 9 in the evening and not have tired feet. So if you break in your Red Wing shoes to your feet, it's one of the best products you can wear on your feet, and it's for me. So comfort for me is very important. Yeah.
And what I really admire about the brand is that, well, fashion was, for at least we've been involved in the brand, some sort of a forbidden word.
Yeah.
Yeah. For our friends out there who don't really know so much about the history of the brand was founded in 1905, if I'm not mistaken.
1905.
It was a workwear company.
Yes.
So and until pretty recently, I think 90% of the business was still work,
Yeah.
and supplying to the industry and stuff. So the lifestyle business was only, let's say, 10%, and I think 8% of that 10% was going on in Japan back then.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, correct. Japan has been a big player for Red Wing. And yeah, for us in the fashion world, you can definitely see that Japan always sets a certain trend, and then if Japan is starting to wear it and raising it, then after a few years you see that going into Europe and the US. So back then Japan was one of the biggest countries who was embracing Red Wing.
Yeah, what I really admire about the brand, because, well, we've been in the fashion industry for almost 17 years. And what I particularly admire about Red Wing is that they always had their pace and they never tried to translate their footwear and bring it closer to trend or what people wanted in the market. I often made the comparison to the success of white sneakers at one point in the business, and I made jokes that asking people, listen, would you really say that the boardroom in Red Wing would ever consider making white trainers at one point, because that might get into a thing? They just sit out trends like that and stay true to the heritage of the brand and to the look and feel of the brand.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's something truly remarkable?
It's amazing. Yeah, they stay true to their authenticity, and that they don't. And all, which got to me was that they don't do a lot of marketing either. They don't step out into magazines or billboards screaming who they are or what they do. I think they're hiding in plain sight in that way, while there's a big community grabbing Red Wing and absolutely loving it. And I think the reason for that is that because they have their path and they stay on that path and they build that way as good as possible. They don't take side roads or whatever. They stay true to what they do best. And that's something which is remarkable for a brand nowadays, because every brand wants to
tag along,
be a part of any trend which is going on.
Right. Hey, and of course it's a very difficult question, because which one of your kids you love the most? But is there can you give me at least your top 3 Red Wing boots that you enjoyed the most over the past 15 years?
That is a difficult question. I think the one I love the most is the one I'm wearing, and that's the 8173. I remember that when we just opened the store, there was an old distributor from Red Wing who came to the store, and he had like a bunch of like 20 pairs or something. They were all like odd pairs, and one of them was the 8173, and it was unworn, and it was his size, and I don't know exactly what it was, but I grabbed that pair, and I think he had it from the early 90s or something. And I started to wear that pair, and I fell in love with that one. And I think I have about 4 or 5 pairs of the 8173, because every time I was like, oh, the notebook is worn out, I need a new one. But the first one, which is this one, is still the most beautiful one, because I think it's nostalgic for me, because I started wearing this in 2010. Yeah.
But this, I mean, sorry for being so ignorant, but this rough out leather, I was told when we were there, when I was in Red Wing for the first time, it's actually the rough side of the leather. Maybe it's a nice little feature that you can explain.
So what I've been told is that, and I've been told that by somebody from Japan, who was very into the Red Wing brand at some point, is that they invented that in World War II, I think. So they started to flip the leather, and
Because there's the flat side and the raw side.
correct, yeah. So this is the hairy side, and some people think that this type of leather is not good with rain or with water, but because it's hairy, the drops of water, they are transported, so to say, through the hairs of the boot, and therefore it's actually more water resistant.
Amazing.
So yeah.
So it's not just a style preference, but it's also something that has an actual functionality to it.
After 15 years, I start to be more practical.
But let's not pretend you have only one love in this city. What would be your second choice?
My second choice would be Pecos, the one you're wearing.
Oh,
It's been
in rough out again.
again in rough outs. So it seems the Dutchies, they love rough outs.
Yeah, we do. And this particular boot was made in an Elast, so that's another thing that I really appreciate, because, well,
Yeah.
Renee used to make fun of my feet, saying that I could get a special parking spot. They're so wide. So,
Yes, for the Jippe Janneke taal, I would say that an Elast means that practically every Red Wing shoe is made on a D-last, and a D stands for the width of the shoe. So you have A to double E, so to say. There's more, but keep it simple. A very small, double E being very wide. D means in t-shirt sizes, it would mean like medium. So an E is more of a large, and your boot is made in an Elast, which makes your parking spot fit better.
but these were originally made for the Japanese market, if I'm not mistaken. Is that not why they built it on the Elast in the first place?
Yeah, most of the Japanese, they have generally a little bit of a wider foot, so therefore most of the shoes made for Japan are in E. So therefore this boot was made in Elast, and I think everybody loved the way this fits, so therefore they kept it in the Elast.
And third, what would be your third favorite pair?
So that I would go back to the icon. For me, that in general, I think if you would ask me, I would say Mockto would be for me, that's if you would ask me what's the ultimate Red Wing boot, or if I would only be able to have one pair of Red Wings, that will be a Mockto, and especially that will be an 877 or an 875, because the leather, this is like a 911 or something. Like this is, if you would compare it like that, for
Referring to the Porsche.
correct, yeah. This is their icon, and
Maybe a nice geeky feature. Can you explain?
yeah, I know of the shoe. I explained I said 877, 875. The 877, which is this one, it's been introduced in 1954, and it was made for hunters. So this boot also had the name Irish Setter, sorry. And it was meant to be in the same color as an Irish Setter dog, because those were hunter dogs. And it was high, so if you would walk through the high grass hunting, you could close it off and no insects or whatever could come into the boot.
And it would sort of protect you from snake bites. I was correct.
Also, yeah. But then when the hunters were walking through the fields, the farmers saw the hunters wearing a special boot, and they were like, "We need that boot as well." But we don't need it that high because that might be uncomfortable for our line of work. So they asked Red Wing to make it into a 6-inch. So this is an 8-inch, and the Mockto is a 6-inch 875, and that's a little bit of an introduction of how the Irish Setter boot was introduced back then.
And this is the particular wide sole that, well, at this point needs a resole, right?
This becomes a little bit slippery, and you can see by the way this particular person has walked. Here you can see the
these are Matthijs's boots.
Yeah.
We always used to buy our shoes small. So at one point we have a whole collection of shoes
which are too small.
But what I really like, this reminds me of denim actually. This super nice patina on the eyelets. It reminds me of the old rivets on jeans that would also get this turquoise sort of patina on it.
Corrosion.
Sorry guys, we're going too deep right now, but just give me a few seconds. But shout out to Matthijs.
Yeah. Who we started working with here, which is funny, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
He was the person who taught me
everything to know about Red Wing.
Exactly. I've been rambling on about my favorite pairs and generally the Mockto, but what would be your favorite pair?
Well, the honest truth is that I really had to spend some time falling in love with Red Wing because, well, since my feet are wide, I really had to try a lot of things until I really found the ultimate pair of shoes. And I think right now, from the core collection, I would definitely go for the 8173 because that to me is the ultimate Red Wing shoe.
Yep.
But one Mockto in particular is, of course, super special for us, and that's the Indigo Mockto that we made for our anniversary, for our 10th anniversary with Tenue de Nîmes, our denim store in Amsterdam. And yeah, this is a special story because we were crazy enough to dye these in indigo. And as you know, this is a big shout out to Katsu, our friend.
Momotaro.
Yeah, the old owner of Momotaro Jeans and Japan Blue. And he was kind enough to take on the challenge that many people in Amsterdam would not take on because they were really afraid to destroy the shoes, and they weren't really sure that the outcome would be as beautiful as this pair shows. But Katsuhito Manabe was adventurous enough to take on the challenge and did this project in a very Japanese way. He said, just ship me the boots. I will make sure that they get a beautiful indigo dye, and then I will return him. And that was what happened. So to us, it was like a huge black box where, we could only guess what the outcome was. But the way they packed and the way they controlled the production and the absolute insane quality of the dye and the color and the shades of indigo, I would say can only be done by Japanese craftsmen.
Correct. Yeah.
And we weren't surprised. We were a little bit stressed because of the lack of control maybe, but we were definitely not surprised to get these boots in such pristine look and feel because this to me still is one of the most special things that we've seen coming, but there's more to come. But before I want to ask you about that, talking about Mocktos, You've seen some pretty famous people coming into your store recently,
Yeah.
and also over the course of the past 15 years.
True. Yeah.
Um, Again, this is a hard one, but is there one person that comes to mind that you would be looking back with a big smile on your face, and maybe you were surprised to see that they were actually also Red Wing fans?
I think about 2012, 2013 or something. I was here with a former colleague and we were playing some really obscure music in the store. And all of a sudden I looked into the store and I saw Tom York of Radiohead in the store. And I've been, in a previous life, I've been a musician. So Tom York is obviously a legend in the music industry, and I saw him and I was like, that can't be right. And he was very interested in the brand. He was very interested in the Mocktos. And we helped him out, but I was afraid to talk to him about the fact that I recognized him. And eventually, because we were playing,
You were a little bit starstruck.
okay, maybe a little bit. But since we were playing such obscure music at that point, he asked about the music, and that was like an entrance for us to embrace
The conversation.
the conversation, and that was something special. He stayed here for I think about 40 minutes or something, and we talked about music. We talked about what we were listening to when he was in Amsterdam because he was playing a show, and that was something I remember very dearly because for me he is an ultimate legend. So
Yeah, because people are more likely to talk about with all respect, the standard brand ambassadors like David Beckham or Eric Clapton or
yeah,
those kind of guys. But then over the course of 15 years, you realize that there's much more very special people embracing the special Red Wing story.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Tom York was something really special. But I think in general, over the past 15 years, what I've seen is that we have young kids coming in, buying boots with coins who saved for it, but we also have our upstairs neighbor buying boots because he fell in love because we were here. But then we also have people who are 80 and used to wear Red Wing shoes as a work boot back in the 50s, and now they come across the brand in Amsterdam and they fall in love with it again because they remember it was such a great boot. So I think for me, the wide span of people buying Red Wing shoes is something which amazes me.
Yeah, but that brings us a little bit to the point where we started, that it's unbelievable how unknown the brand still is.
True.
So
Yeah.
we have to do a better job in the next 15, I'm afraid, because there's still so much people who never heard about the brand, and hopefully get to know the brand a little bit more after seeing this video.
Hopefully.
I feel that this is also the moment that we want to give a little sneak peek of something truly special that we designed and brought to life for the special 15th anniversary of the Red Wing Shoe Store Amsterdam. Would you mind to show us a little bit what's cooking?
Yeah, we've been cooking something special to celebrate our 15th anniversary. Celebrating obviously goes with confetti and with a lot of party. So we created a Confetti Mockto, which is very, very cool. Proud to show these and release this for our 15-year anniversary, which is we did one for the 10-year anniversary, and now we're lucky enough to do another one.
But for the 10th anniversary, looking at this, you were pretty mild.
True. Yeah, this way we really wanted to celebrate.
Well, this is and to Red Wing standards, this is quite an outrageous design, which I really like about it, because a colleague of mine at TNU often refers to combinations like these as forbidden combinations, because it's such a classic silhouette with quite a funky paint design on it. You didn't mention it, but it's a very, very limited run.
Correct.
So when will these treasures drop online and in store?
These will be launched on July 24th
On our official birthdays.
on our official birthday, which
So-
is going to be something special. There's a limited pairs available. There's not a lot, but I would set your alarm.
And do I spoil any surprise if I say that you designed also a special Red Wing Shoe Store t-shirt that will be sent into the same box?
Oh, you've spoiled it already.
Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. But now I spoiled it anyway, so we can say that.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
We
so it will be, there will be a Red Wing 15-year anniversary included with the boots. So if you buy the boots, you get the t-shirt.
And will the t-shirts also be for sale?
So for everybody who has about 15 to 20 pairs already and wants to get a Red Wing Shoe Store t-shirt for the 15-year anniversary, will also be available.
Amazing. So if we want to wrap this up with a look ahead, what is it that you would like to achieve in your next 15 with the Red Wing Shoe Store Amsterdam? Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Oh, I would say that I think coming back to conversations we had earlier, that I think the brand, we can work on the brand's name. I think it's so funny that still if you go around the corner to a cafe and you ask, and somebody asks like, what do you do? And you say, I run the Red Wing Shoe Store. Nobody or not a lot of people know Red Wing shoes. So I think
We are.
challenge is gonna be that we're gonna make the name bigger.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel that for a brand that we both feel so much love for,
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you that we need to do a better job in the next 15 to make more people aware of this beautiful special story. Because in a world that is full of so much rubbish, I feel that the Red Wing brand definitely needs a much bigger stage.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in the fashion business right now are just trying to follow every trend and trying to cut corners. And I believe it's time to really give Red Wing the stage even more. And let's use the next 15 for that.
Yeah.
How old will you be in 15 years?
28.
28. Wow.
How young will you be in 15 years?
So we're gonna go back, right? I'll be 58, dude. 15 years. Okay,
I'll be 50. Yeah.
50. Mitchie, remember that you came in the program in front of this store, our model. Our model. Can you imagine that we hired you at one point being our model?
You always called me the Benjamin of the company because I was so young.
We're almost as old as Red Wing. But not yet.
No, that's half.